Well, Coach Tom, welcome to Pinoy Radio.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Tom, so you coached the Azcals from 2014 up to 2018. When you arrived in the Philippines, what was your first impression of the Azcals?
Of the Ascals, obviously I did my homework before I came over here and before I
Yeah.
had the meeting with the management, that I knew that there's something that could be easily changed. The
Mm-hmm.
style of play that they had, just playing long balls,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I explained to the players right from the start in the first meeting before we had training. I explained to them that I love football for 50 years and love to play football, still love to
Mm-hmm.
play football. What I don't like is chasing football, and I said I need to. I'm looking only for players who want to play football.
Right.
So that means if I have the ball and there's between me and you is a defender, you need to help me. If you want to play football, you get out of hiding behind that players and give me an option to play football, a ball to you, a pass to you.
Yeah.
If you do that, then you make mistakes, obviously, because you take responsibility
Yeah.
and sometimes you make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, that is normal
Yeah.
in a game. Everybody makes mistakes, but we can learn from that. And the more you learn and the more you take responsibility, the better you will play.
Coming in, you have this, vision and you have a philosophy that you want to teach players. How do you change that? How do you change something that's been in there for a long time?
I mean, it's like you have to break the code, and the code is mentally. So you have everything you do. It's about repetition,
Yeah.
and with repetition, you burn something into your brain, muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to start talking to the players individually and in teams in team meetings about how I want to play, and need to explain to them why we're going to play this. And then you have to do it in training. The training exercise has to be precise and has to be, almost perfect, because when you train a national team, you don't have a lot of time. You
Yeah.
have to think about the players coming in for 10 days. In those 10 days, you might
Yeah.
have two games. In those two games, or between those two games, before the game, you have only an hour of training in the stadium,
Yeah.
and then the rest you have like maximum 5 or 6 training sessions, and most likely once a day, where you have to go really to the point, how you want to play. So every training session has to be very well organized
Mm-hmm.
and well run through. So in this case, this is the key. And obviously, in the beginning, you have to explain more, and you have to stop more and have to
Mm-hmm.
tell them why are you doing this. And the best example, as always, for example, is somebody tries to play with the outside foot and losing the ball.
Okay.
90% of the players lost the ball. And I
Okay.
and I did once. I said, okay, when this happens a couple of times, I put the ball down and say stop. And I asked the guy, okay, you see that cone over there, 10
Yeah.
yards away? If you hit that cone, I give you $10,000. And the guy's looking at me and saying, no, I give you $10,000 if you hit that cone. And then he started trying, he put the ball down. He's
Yeah.
going 2, 3 yards back, and then he's running at the ball. And right before he wants to kick the ball,
Yeah.
I said, stop. I said, what? And I said, what are you going to do? And he said, I'm trying to hit that cone. How?
Yeah.
I said, like that. And I said, why don't you do that with the outside foot? Now you want to do it with the inside foot. Why? Because it's more accurate. And I say,
Ah.
exactly. Why do you play with ball with the outside foot when you know with the inside foot is more accurate?
Yeah.
Because 90% of the time you lose the ball. So if I'm a coach over there, I'm looking for a player, and I see you playing with the outside foot, losing the ball while you could use the inside of the foot, and you
Yeah.
can put the ball there, you will be out of my book.
Right.
And those little things always you have to. And I said, of course, I won't give you $10,000. I just want to make that point that
Yeah.
you are not thinking. So and that's what I did a lot with like visualization. It's when you tell something to a player, he
Mm-hmm.
understands at the moment. Maybe he
Yeah.
understands, but he's getting more information in training from different people in the game, from his center back, from the midfield players. The coach has called something in, then he's going home, and then
Yeah.
his wife, his girlfriend,
Yeah.
anybody, his friend saying something. Yeah, when the next day he forgot what he said.
Yeah.
And I told them, you need to sit at home, you lay down, and think about why didn't I score? And then you need to find out on yourself why you didn't score and what should you do to score next time. So when you do that and start thinking about it, you're using your brain to analyze situations that you have 3, 4, 5 times in the game. So next time when you have that in your that game situation developing, you know exactly what you need to do because you have thought about it, and it's in your database in your brain. So, and the
Right.
more everything in football is about speed. You know how fast you can receive a ball, how fast you can run, how
Yeah.
fast you can play the ball, how fast you can make a decision, how fast you realize the situation, all that stuff. You can train that. That takes you 20, maybe 10, 15 years, or maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
But if you put that, and you can only train once or twice a day, so you have to, when you sit at home and you're using your brain and visualizing and training, that's not tiring. That's actually, motivating.
Mm.
And if you do that at home, then you can actually speed up the process in your processor in your brain, realizing situations and do the right thing.
Is it in the mentality of the Filipinos to excel more in individual sports than a team sport?
No, no, why we were successful. We broke 11 records while I was there.
Yes.
11 records. It's the time when we didn't, let's say, when we dropped in the rankings, that has nothing to do with us playing football.
No, it's just
There
the
was
way
one
the yeah
one
it,
time one time we dropped because we didn't play games. They didn't schedule games for us.
yes, and
If
it's
you don't
also
drop, and you drop when you lose, you drop when you don't play, you
yeah
drop when it is, and you also can gain at the time.
yeah
But if you want to, if you are dropping from 124 back to 136 because you didn't play games on a week on that period of
yeah
time in that month, then is it our fault that the team is doing bad? No. It
yeah
was maybe the organization that didn't organize games for us. So
could
if
be
that's the case, you're dropping back, then
yeah
you go to the next one. You're playing a tournament where you have only one starter in the team. The whole coaching staff is not there, and you're dropping from 114 back to 124.
yeah
What happened? What did we after that tournament in Timor Leste, or whether when we lost against Timor Leste? I think it was in Taiwan. We had to walk all the way back from 120 something back to 114 in a year. So
yeah
if that wouldn't happen, the team would have done even better. So to say that it's just an individual with the Philippines, I totally disagree. The Philippines are very, very understandable.
mm,
The players are very nice. They are very, very humbled to play for the
yeah
national team and stuff like that. Just to have individuals that don't, and then if they don't, then you have to find out why is that an issue. But in general, I mean, all the players we had, they were happy to. Most of them, they were happy to be there and being successful.
well yeah I do remember the run. I mean from 2014 almost qualified in 2016 for the AFC, and then
Yes,
finally you qualified for the 2018, I think, the AFC
yes, 2018.
championships, because of your your better ranking in the AFC qualifying stages. So how was the AFC? I mean AFC World Cup qualifying stages. So how was that experience? I mean, first
It was
time for the
great.
Philippines to be in such a prestigious, important tournament.
It was great. I mean, we never won a game before. We tied one game, and with us or with me when I was there, we won 3 games and we tied one. And again, I mean, you always find something why things happen,
Yeah,
and why why we lost against Uzbekistan at home 5-1. That's everything happens for a reason, and the reason they are plausible. I mean, it's something that when you go to Europe and you tell somebody what happened before that game, and I would explain to them, say, there's no wonder that you're not gonna win this game. After the first minute was already 1-0 for them, and the whole strategy that you had,
Mm-hmm.
the whole bonus that we had was gone, blowing out the wind. So, but no, we had great games. We had really a great run, and we were very happy with the result. Winning then against North Korea 3-2 at home. That
Yeah,
was a
that was
big step.
that was a great game.
It's yeah. I mean, the winning at home against Bahrain 2-1, almost 2-0 because they scored in the last two
Yeah,
minutes
yeah,
or
yeah,
so.
yeah. I remember
It
that
is
game.
it is it is very impressive what the team has done, and it takes time. It's we you have to build something. When you get the players only 5 times a year for 6 training sessions every 2 months, and then like you said, it's a process, and you have to develop that kind of a process through a period of time. So that's why it's so unthinkable what they have done, what they did after the 2018 qualification. So it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yes. Yeah. Regarding the qualification. So even though you didn't qualify, that the team didn't qualify for the next stages of the World Cup qualifiers, you still did well. You still did well, and got the Philippines a seat in the AFC Championships,
Yes,
and then yeah. So what happened after that? I mean, how come you were replaced
very
after
simple.
doing what was expected of you? I mean, you know.
Very, very simple. It has everything to do with one player, and that's Shrek. 100%, because I kicked him out twice
Yeah.
because of his behavior, and I was and he and the management always asked me, "Do you want to bring him back?" And
Mm-hmm.
I said, "No. Why should I bring him back?" And he said, "I know. I think it's the most important game." That was 3 months before, and even before the game against Nepal. And I said, "Yeah, no. Do you want to win?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, then we don't." So then, and after the game against Nepal, he said, "You in the plane." He said, "Do you want to bring him now for the last game?" And I said, "Look, how many games did we win, and we played great with him?" Just a simple question. He couldn't answer that question. I said, "How
Yeah.
many times we had success? All the records we broke without him." So, and I said, he's a good player. He's a good player in the league. And he's maybe the best player in the league. You don't need the best players to be successful.
Yeah. You
You
need the
need the
best
best
team.
team.
Yeah.
So you need the best team. And then I said, no, I don't. I don't want to bring him in because I want to win. So, and then even 3 days before, he asked me again, "Thomas, have you thought about it? Because it's very, very important." And I said again, I don't know what happened with you guys, but I have no idea why you want him back. And then we won, and then the next day my contract ended. And then
Wow.
I think a week later, we had a meeting, and we talked about actually about the contract. We didn't in details, but
Mm-hmm.
he was the first question that he asked me. Now we qualified. Will you bring him in?
Who,
And I
who's
said
who's he?
no, Palami.
Oh, Mister.
Do you
Okay.
want to do you want to bring him now? And I said no. I don't understand. And then after that, I didn't get a contract. So and you could see that he
Mm.
got back. He was the captain, and then they played the Asian Cup without me. And
Wow.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's a difference between the big leagues
Mm-hmm.
and the Philippines leagues. In Europe, nobody would do that, something like that. But then to make it right before that big tournament, to make that kind of a decision, you're bringing in a new coach who doesn't know the players all,
Yes. That.
doesn't know he changing players. Look at it in the Asian Cup. How many players who were leading the team to the qualification were an outstanding players didn't even play or got only a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And
That's
that
actually the next question I was gonna ask you. Did the
yeah, but
young
then you have
husbands? Did the young
yeah.
husbands reach out to you? after
Reach out to me?
did they reach out to you like after after you didn't
No,
get your
there were
contract
there
renewed
was
or
no there were like rumors that the players were against me because they I treated them not well, and I was calling. Then I called Phil and said, Phil, can we have meetings? Sure. We had a meeting, and I said, listen, is there anything that you guys are not happy with what I did
Mhm.
or what because there's a rumor that in the team that a lot of players be would be against me.
So do you know where it started from,
I don't
or
know when it started
was it
because
from
somebody
social
told
me
me.
was it from social media or
No, there was from some people.
so it's
They called
within
me up.
within the circle within PFF
Not in a
or
circle, not outside the
oh
circle.
really
But I mean, outside the circle, you know how many people have contact to players and stuff like that.
yeah
And
okay
they told me that, look, that is what the rumor is out there. And I said, yeah, I can imagine the three, four players who had problems with me that didn't behave well. We had issues with them. Of course, they want to do whatever they want to do, and they don't want me to be in there. I understand, but the most of the players, I don't think so. And Phil said, no, no, coach, it's not at all. I mean, if do you want me to talk to Palami second? No, I don't want the players, fighting for me and stuff like that. I don't want. If he asks you something, you can tell him, but I don't want
wow
you to talk to him and say, "Hey, look, this is happening," and yada yada yada. I still was thinking that everything would be fine, but there are so
wow
many things that went wrong. I was like 2 years. I was asking for an assistant coach. 2 years as a national team coach. 2 years an assistant coach. I didn't get one. I got one in the last game, 3 days, 5 days before the game. I got one finally.
right
After I after I didn't get a contract, the new coach got four assistant coaches immediately. So you can imagine
mm.
how well we would be prepared for the Asian Cup if I would have gotten one, two, maybe three assistant coaches.
Yeah.
So and that's why it would never happen in Europe or so because they see more the the importance of all the
Okay.
details, and that's
So
what
so
was what's
so
bad actually.
so
Huh?
so coach, did you make this proposal to the management that to get for you to get three or four coaches to assist you?
No, I was asking for 2 years for one.
Wow.
Somebody who can help me for
Wow.
one.
So how was the because you have this very impressive background. You represented the Team USA in the 1994 World Cup in Atlanta. You you were assistant to Jurgen Klinsmann, who was the head coach of the USA national football team. So you have this, great credentials, and you were a player before that. Now, when you joined the PFF, how did you find their organizational structure? Like, were you impressed with it, or were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised because when they asked me in the beginning, the the person Sam who actually got me in contact with the Philippine Federation, when he asked me, he said, Thomas, I'm watching you how you talk to my son, how you talk to the academy team, and all. I know how you play, and I know you now talking to you a little bit in person. I said, you
Mm.
should be our national team coach. And I said, you? Where? And he said, Philippines. And I said, Philippines? Do you have a national team? So because you don't read anything about the Philippines.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't read anything in America or in Europe. You don't read anything. So
yeah,
and that's what I think. What I knew was that they can't be like Europe, obviously, and Bundesliga and all that stuff. But it was for me interesting to learn and to find out, and I changed things. I changed things to the better. For example, we had Puma as a sponsor, and we traveled without really Puma gear. Everybody was wearing whatever he wants to wear: jeans,
yep,
shorts, Adidas T-shirt, black T-shirt, white T-shirt, the dress code, whatever. And that's how we traveled to the games. And then I said and took pictures in the airport. And then I went to Puma and I went to the federation and I said, look, do you know those people? And they
yeah,
looked, and after a couple Well, after a minute, they say, "Oh yeah, that's Phil. That's our national team." It's like, yeah, I went to Puma. Hey, same thing. Oh, that's Phil. I'm saying, look, are you a sponsor for us? Are you? Do you like that the way we walk on the airport? Can you imagine that everybody wears the same shirt and the same tracksuit,
Yeah.
and we are traveling together, and then they say, "Oh, here's Phil," and then they say, "Oh, all those guys with a blue training suit and a white shirt, they are maybe Ascal's player." Now you can spot them everywhere, and now you are actually, promoting football wherever you go. Puma, you're promoting your brand wherever you go.
Right.
Bam. We got we got three T-shirts, we got the suit, we got everything.
Yeah.
Now we look like a real team. So and then obviously, you have to have a little bit success, then you can ask for more. And we traveled with boxes now. So before we traveled with some regular bags and
Hmm.
sometimes with trash bags maybe. But I said, we need to get some silver boxes where we can travel and put all the gear and all that stuff in there. And it looks like a professional team. That's what we are. We are representing the country, a beautiful country in the Philippines. We're representing. So we need to. The people should look up to us. So and we trying to find or we found a energy drink. Ah, what is it called? I forgot. Shit. I could shoot.
Not Gatorade.
Could. No, 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 no. It's a Philippine brand, and they helped us a lot. They gave us all the vitamins, all the energy drinks. They gave us.
Okay, so
Then we got
yeah.
yes, then we got sponsors. I brought in the Fröhlich tours with the buses. So we got the bus to cost 600,000 euro.
Wow.
$600,000. It was like beautiful, the Ascal's bus. Driving around in Manila, that is commercial. That's money.
Yeah.
Driving around, putting all those remover boxes on and Puma on the sign and the
Yeah.
players and stuff. That was fantastic. And then suddenly I had to hear, oh, Thomas wants to change everything. I say, what? I want to change everything. I want to change it to the better. Suddenly, the guys with the bus was gone,
Uh-huh.
Puma was gone, Puma was gone, Remova pulled back. Now they had to start from scratch again. So it's unprofessional, in my opinion. So there's so much you can actually do in the Philippines and getting, outstanding, doing things. It helps everybody. Fans asking me, "Hey, where can I buy his jersey? Where can I buy tickets? When is the game?" There are no information for the fans. It
Yeah.
was really not great, and I think has so much potential, and I'm 100% sure if it would be done the right way, the league would benefit from that too.
Yeah. Well,
Football has a future in the Philippines, but it has to be done right.
I agree with you. The PFF, they've been around since 1907. They're one of the oldest, football federations in Asia. But to improve our, we have to improve our football from the ground up, from the kids going in their teens, representing the Philippines in under 16s or under 17s. I mean, has the PFF does the PFF have a program at all to improve,
I
the quality of,
I don't know.
players coming in?
I have no idea. I mean, I really don't have an idea. I was trying to do something for the better, and I was saying that, let me work also with the U20s, U23s, or in the U19s, just to train with them and nothing. I mean, talking to maybe coaches and to having seminars and stuff like that. No, it's not. And sometimes it sounded like it's not welcome. And I say, okay, then I'm doing my stuff. Then I'm concentrating only on the men's national team and trying to make them successful.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's sad is to see that there's so much potential, but I don't know why. I mean, they are good people. In one hand, they are good people. On the other hand, obviously, I'm still, running after my money, what
Mm,
you cannot imagine. So it's kind of very strange, very, very
it
strange.
is. It is. I feel you. I feel you there. Back in 2019 or 2018 or 2019, I read that you were planning to start an academy there in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And how's it coming along? Is
Yes.
it
No, it was I was I was putting everything together, but in the end, you need also support.
oh
And the support is obviously it costs money. If you want to do it the right way, you can do a camp like everybody else
yeah
does a camp with Kaya
yeah
and other ones, and you can do it that way. But is that is like just want to make money, you know? It's not the right way because if you have money, you can join the academy. If you don't have money, you're not. And if you want to get the best players, most of the best players maybe can afford an academy. So, and if
yeah
you can
I
pay,
agree.
then you get training. If you can't pay, you don't get training. So, and
Yeah
I want to do it the right way. I want to do an apprenticeship,
yeah
and that's what my plan was. And I had great conversations with great people, and then in the end, it's like I have seen so many times, yeah, 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 and then you don't hear from them anymore. And instead of maybe saying that, you know what, that's not what we would like to do, but let's talk about it. We wait and maybe let you know. And next week, like everywhere, and then suddenly you don't hear anything from anymore, and then you have to start all over
yeah
again.
no no
So that's what you can do that two, three times and see what if you don't want to, then
I agree
obviously
with you.
it doesn't make sense.